Hi, hey,
Hi.
Loris.
Cool. So here are just a few suggested topics. Should we change this out, Sindre? Should we add something more? Change the order?
Uh,
You should have access to the Notion
yeah,
document. I
I
think I
know, I
see
know.
you.
No, I think it's just nice to have have a meeting again since it's so many weeks since the last time. I don't have any other like suggestions for topics now. I guess maybe someone else will have them. Maybe I can add like website. Um, Other than that, I think we're fine. Do anyone else have any topics?
Cool. So then we should just get started to keep it short. So
Yep.
the front page thing, from what I remember, is it correct that Nathan is working on something?
So he has been working on, yeah, Nathan unmuted himself now, so he can chip in, I guess.
Yeah, not too much to report, but I've been working on it. A while back, I did a bunch of work on it and shared some stuff with Sindre, and then there was a big gap, and we started getting back into it. And yeah, it's coming along. We're like making some progress, but I guess nothing to share really yet.
We have a working like sketch basically at Imba.io/home. We talked last week, I guess. I think we talked about just trying to get something like minimal out. And earlier today, so this was my first day back at work essentially in 3 weeks. But earlier today, I tried to just add a few more textual sections, which I haven't uploaded yet. But I will run that by Nathan tomorrow, I think, and then maybe just actually deploy that that new version this week, and not like as a final front page, but at least replace the landing page, which now is the documentation, like the welcome section of the documentation. Replace it with this new landing page. Because to be honest, I'm not sure like how far we are from beta right now. It feels very difficult to plan ahead all of this, especially since there are so many unexpected things happening, and there's also many expected things happening for me right now. So it's difficult to really set a firm deadline. But I'm really hoping to at least get the homepage and more of a public official 2.0 alpha or beta out this week or next week.
So maybe that's a topic we should discuss. I suppose the website is easy enough to get something up, but the kind of like what constitutes ready for beta or ready to publish things,
I think
probably an important thing to figure out.
I guess we're not really SEM version compatible anyways. Like just like TypeScript, we aren't going to bump the major version whenever we add some syntax or whatever. But I do think we should probably move to beta a little bit before like the technical, isn't the technical term for a beta when you're actually feature complete and everything is just frozen, where you're just trying to work out bugs and stuff?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
And I feel like the current version of Imba is pretty feature complete. Like when I use it, I don't find myself wanting features. It's just little bugs and glitches and things.
Yeah, so I think it's still, there are some areas I think need some more improvements, but I don't think it's too crazy to move to calling it beta 1 relatively soon. Like fix a few more of the open issues and make sure all of the build stuff works okay.
Yeah, I've been having really good luck with the build system working great,
Okay, that's
some
cool.
VS Code compatibility things, like
Yeah,
even the new colors, you know, adding those in, and
yeah,
some things cause errors that aren't really errors.
yeah. I noticed that as well. And I do
That's what
think
gets me the most. Like that's like the most prominent thing is like errors that aren't errors. But other, like,
yeah,
I'm trying to think what I wrote down a bunch of notes about, like little things that get me as I use it. I
yeah,
think it's like kind of these phantom errors, and yeah, everything else is kind of just is like more in-depth stuff. Not, you know, because we want to attack the things that's a new user who comes, they open it up and something breaks and they think, oh, this is dumb. You know, you
yeah,
want to like not have that, right? So it's like, what's
yeah,
that
yeah,
top layer of things that a new user would experience?
yeah. And I think that it's probably important to, now we're on alpha 120 or whatever. I don't even remember, but I think it's probably an important step to move over to beta 1 to be able to start pushing it out, like actually posting it on Hacker News and all of those places, and say that, yeah, it's still in beta, it's still unstable, but it's worth your time. It's worth trying to pick up and play around with it. I think
Yeah,
alpha, like, I think alpha could be too intimidating for a lot of people, and also the whole concept of still having Imba 1 out there and Imba 2. I just today I saw that I still haven't removed the old VS Code plugin that is essentially for Imba 1, and I see that it still has tons more downloads than the real, like, correct new VS Code plugins. There are so many
right.
little things like that that we really need to fix. Just like we have a bunch of templates that are just broken or use Webpack or whatever, we should also make sure to
Right.
deprecate all of them.
We should probably make an issue somewhere, like on GitHub. Like I had a
Yeah,
habit of doing this whenever I want to launch something. It's like make an issue that just has a list of all the like things that need to
yeah,
happen for launch. And so there's a
yeah,
place where you can discuss, like, is this really necessary, or maybe we should add that.
yeah,
Because we kind of, if we're going towards that goal of like, what do we consider beta, then we want to have a place where people can kind of chime in. Like I'll have a
yeah,
few things. You know, another one that came to mind is like comments. Sometimes if you put a comment in the wrong way, it causes a syntax error. Something
yeah,
like that is maybe
yeah,
you know, enough of a impediment to new users.
Just a
yeah.
question. Could we document all these errors somewhere, building test cases?
Yeah, we definitely should. Like, I'm already struggling with that the test suite itself is just way too it doesn't cover nearly everything that it should be covering. And we don't even have a
Just
test
wondering
case.
if we should include that also for the beta or for later.
I'm to be honest, I'm inclined to do it for later, because I think it's especially since there are so much happening in my life personally as well now, so that it's difficult to allocate enough time. So I know that we need to just get the ball rolling, like we need to get a release out so that we can start attracting a few more people. Like if we could increase the community of active users by like just 20-30 people, then I think that would make a huge impact when it comes to surfacing the important issues and getting more contributors who would like to help out with the documentation and maybe even test suites and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, the main reason I would advise against much larger test suites, also for the tooling, etc., before beta launch, is just that that could take a long time if I have to do it myself, and then it sucks if we have to delay the beta by a few more months. So
I was just wondering what would be the most efficient way of having things documented or settled, or there are different syntax, for example, that are currently still active. And
yeah,
unless we reach out to you, there's no other authority that can tell us which way.
yeah. Yeah, that's a problem for the documentation, I guess, not just for we should I do think we have an issue about that, but we should definitely I should start deprecating and removing more of the old syntax, basically making it illegal, I guess. That's one thing we could do when we move from alpha to beta. I'm sure it will piss off some of the 3-4 active users we have now, but that's just the name of the game. But yeah,
Well,
again,
those are the rules of being alpha. And
Yeah.
if we move to beta, we no longer have that liberty.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's not, to be honest, it's not really critical for me to move to beta. We could still, what's important to me is to actually start publicizing it a little, like get the landing page up and running and then start to post about it a few places and try to gain some attention for it, like maybe write a blog post or two. And one of the things I have on my agenda in this week and the next week is to finally get everything with the latest version working with Scrimba again. And then it will be easier to actually start creating some screencasts and stuff as well that we can share.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I find myself just recently, like after talking to you, Jason, I redid the browser window in the examples on the front page to allow dragging and resizing the browser window. That's just a tiny kind of component that I could easily have done in Scrimba if I just
I just tried it right now. It's pretty cool that you can drag it.
Does it work on the? Oh, I have actually deployed that part. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's on the home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
And that's just a very
example.
small component that actually just uses the touch events and sync on various properties. So that's one kind of like very simple tutorial I could create as a scrim when we get that up and running. So for documentation and for creating interest, I think that will probably be one of the important things to get running as well.
Hey, Sindre,
Yeah, even in the
Sandra,
Discord, I'm sure we would pass them between each other.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, sorry, hey, Sindre. I was just picking up on that, and I think you're right. You need that so much is on your shoulders at the moment. So having any sort of increasing the amount of developers who are just playing around with it, we might stumble upon a couple of people who can really get involved in a big way. And I think when I'm talking about with some friends, I think having somewhere they can try it out without having to download it is massive.
Yeah,
and I think it's somewhere where something like Svelte has done really well with their REPL and stuff. And I think having somewhere you can just mess around with it, and if that's Scrimba, that's great. And if it's the playground, on the website, then having that place to really just try things out is so powerful, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Quick question on the new homepage, on the home one, the first section that has some code, you can switch over to the other two files. You have app Imba, canvas Imba, and pickers Imba, which you can select and see. But all the other code samples, you cannot click on the other files. Is that on purpose?
No, that's a bug. If it's
actually working for me.
Yeah, I think it's something I fixed that bug locally today. It's something with the iframe, like the browser window, capturing the clicks or something. It's working for me as well. If you move I think if you change the resolution, like if you maximize the window or something, it should work. But yeah, that's a bug and that will be fixed. I could share like, maybe I should share my screen.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Wait, I can stop sharing 1 moment. There. You should be able to share now.
Yeah. Share. So this is just the windows here are not positioned correctly right now. It's just a bug. Can you see the window now?
Yes.
Okay, do you see the website or?
Yeah, the whole browser
Okay,
actually is
yeah.
visible.
Yeah, because this is the latest like sketch I have now. It's basically just slightly simpler. I'm going to move these things here, but it's just I just moved things out into a few different sections with some more text, and then at the bottom have just a getting started thing with again emphasizing the command you need to run and links to VS Code plugin, and also in the various texts I haven't really nailed the copy yet, but actually link to documentation where that makes sense. So that will just, yeah, these are just incorrect. So yeah. So something like this, I'll probably try to deploy tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see.
The paint demo, did you check that on a mobile as well?
Yeah, I think it should. At some point, it didn't really work. But right now,
it keeps scrolling. That window keeps scrolling vertically when you try to paint on it. But well,
does it do that now? Have you checked in the last like week or two?
I'll be checking in the next 2 seconds.
Okay, it shouldn't. If it scrolls, at least on iPhone, then it's a regression, because I did fix it.
Let me try that.
Yeah, it doesn't scroll on iPhone at least.
Let's see if we can actually paint. Well, on Android, it still keeps scrolling vertically. On the paint demo, I tried to paint something with the finger and it keeps scrolling instead.
Then that's actually a bug we need to file, because that's not just the paint demo then that's related to not really correctly canceling the pointer events on Android. I really need to get hold of an Android phone again. I just bought actually a Windows PC that will be delivered late this week, I think, so that I can start testing the ES build stuff, etc. on Windows as well, because I know there are a lot of weird bugs with that. So
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. I have a really shitty Android phone which belongs to Scrimba if you want one. I was gonna give it back to Per, but he told me to just, there's no rush to bring.
Yeah, we're not the Android types, I guess. But I do need to get hold of one. Is it a relatively new device you have, Loris, or?
Yes, yeah, it's what is it? I don't even, the OnePlus, the latest model.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess that's actually a pretty important thing to fix, because that took some time to make it work right on iOS as well. There's so many finicky details about what events to cancel and when to cancel them, and
I just thought if this is gonna be the entry point, it should better be shiny and perfect.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Cool. So, yeah. Should we move on to the next topic, the documentation status?
Yeah, sure. There's not that much more.
The search is new.
The search is new. It's not really good right now, but at least it works. It's not really that bad. It's the major problem there is just that the documentation itself is so incomplete. But it's relatively easy to get around the documentation using the search. So
this was actually, I think it seems to be good. Everything I tried to search for now came up on the first attempt.
Yeah, it doesn't have exactly, there's no good algorithm for it. It's just searches for the exact text in titles, essentially, section titles. But there's not that much you want to search that doesn't match the section title, in my experience. So yeah.
And regarding the documentation overall, I'm still happy to work on filling it out. But I think for the most part, the things that need to be filled out, I probably need to discuss with you to learn
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
And we'll see if you telling me and then me writing it is easier than you just writing it. Hopefully it is.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because also
I
I
think-
can go through and figure out like what things need
Yeah.
need mentioning, and then just run those by you rather than you having to kind of come through it.
Yeah. So there's actually one, I just looked at the documentation now, and since we added the new Tailwind 2.0 colors, I'm actually starting, after using it for a while, I'm starting to feel that there's a good reason that Tailwind has aliasing for the colors, where you can actually say that like blue in my project is going to be the sky blue, like the, what is it called? Blue gray or whatever they call it. And where you can also say that my gray is going to be cool or blue gray or whatever. We don't have anything like that in Imba now, but I think like, at least for me, that's something I miss when I'm using the new colors now.
Like you want to be able to define essentially your own color names that reference those color
Yeah,
variables.
I think that's the whole idea of the new colors in Tailwind, that it's not really an idea to use the emerald color at all, but emerald is just a variation of green, like emerald and lime, so that you in your project can say that, so my green is going to be the lime and my yellow is going to be amber. Like it's just a way to switch out the I'm not sure if it's critical. I just after after we switch, I never use anything other than the regular gray, because it's just a hassle to remember what the what the other grays are.
Which could be made easier with tooling, I suppose.
Yeah.
But having a way to define those colors is good for a couple of reasons. Because like, well, one is, I mean, you want to define your own colors and not just use Tailwind potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other is if you can set all the colors through a configuration file, then if we ever upgrade the colors like we did, it won't break the old ones if that's like an actual file somewhere.
Yeah, that was a very good point, that we can also like retroactively create the configuration for the people who don't have one when we change the colors. Yeah, that was really smart.
But overall, I don't think it's like, you know, I'm just thinking towards like beta stuff. You know, that one's, the colors are nice. Like I love using them, but for like production stuff, it might not be sufficient. But
yeah, we actually already used the custom. You could define custom colors in the Imba config, and that doesn't really work now with the new Ease build stuff. We're still using that on Scrimba, so I'm sure I'm going to fix that when I finally get around to port Scrimba over to the latest alpha, which I hope to start doing as soon as possible. So yeah.
Cool. I'm just going through the examples in the docs and trying out all of the different ones.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, I think it is. Even though nothing has happened for the last 3 weeks, I do think it's still getting closer. It is. I think it's probably relatively stable compared to a lot of other projects at the same stage. Like, I don't think there are many languages that are this complete and stable, yet has this small of a community and following, because almost no one even knows about Imba. Like they haven't heard about it. They have no idea what it is. So that's kind of the next step I want to get through, like actually get it mentioned a few more places, because I think what we have already will be enough for a lot of people to find it interesting and start exploring. So yeah. So hopefully at the end of this week or early next week, have do just a simple Hacker News post linking to the website and then just trying to get that up on the front page and be ready to answer and stay active in the community, in the chat and issues in that period. I think that could be potentially could bring in quite a few interesting people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So other than that, again, since I haven't really done anything since the last meeting, I don't have much else to discuss now, at least from my end.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm
I
back at
see
work today.
Bohuslav just joined recently. Bohuslav, do you have any topics or any questions you wanted to ask?
No. Maybe only one topic is about browser support, because currently we have some issues. Like
Yeah.
IS-12 it doesn't work on IS-12 and Z.
What is that? ISL?
12.
iOS 12.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the main reason it doesn't work on iOS 12 now is actually just that it doesn't support ES modules, does it? And that's just laziness on my end. I think I should update the templates to actually show how to bundle the project both as a ES module and as a standalone fully bundled single file. I can check on, can I use ES modules? It should be supported on iOS 11 already, so I guess I need to get Xcode working again here and download the iOS simulator, because then it's probably just a simple technical thing like that makes it crash. I still don't think we will support IE 11 essentially and down, because we can definitely support that if you just use server-side rendering or if you just use the basic stuff. But allowing everything to work smoothly in IE 11 with the tag rendering and stuff is just feels like too big of a hassle right now. I do think there are so many other projects and large websites now that explicitly do not support these older versions of IE that I think we could get away with it essentially. But yeah.
Cool. So if there's no other topics, I think we should wrap it up to keep it short.
Yep.
Sounds like you're very busy, Sindre. We don't want to take too much of your time. So
yeah, I'm not busy, but been sick for 3 weeks, and then I have another child in 1.5 weeks or something.
oh,
So
you have, oh yeah, congratulations.
yeah, thanks. So it's kind of
So you did keep busy.
yeah, this yeah. And yeah, by the way, we also got our new house 2 days ago. So so we're moving into that as well, finally.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's very nice. We still haven't moved everything in, but we hope to move there in 3 or 4 days. But then we'll finally get a real office, so that will be nice. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is March 22nd good for a meeting?
So it to be honest, it will probably be good, but again, I could be my wife could suddenly be in labor or have or we could have a newborn, like 2-day-old newborn. So we can schedule it for March 22nd, and then I might not appear, or I might just appear very shortly, or briefly, I mean.
Yeah, let's try to have it, and then if we have to reschedule, we'll just reschedule.
Yeah, and I think it's probably better as long as we keep the meetings as short as this. I think it should be doable relatively often to just check in. I think that's probably better than rescheduling the meetings too often.
Yeah, I would also prefer if we actually had them, even though short is better than no meeting.
Yeah, but I think even like at least in a month or two after we have a second wave of a few more people joining on the community, I think it should be possible to arrange some of these meetings without me as well. Just like going over the documentation, talking about other things that need to be done that are not directly related to like the internals of the language. I think there are a lot of things we need to plan and do.
I'm
the
a huge
future,
fan
right?
of the continuity, like just having the same time and having the meeting always. It's
Yeah.
like so easy mentally to remember it, right? You just
Yeah.
know, oh, you just show up and then it's the same time. But like, yeah, I don't know if we have enough people now for it to be relevant, but maybe
No, but I think maybe
later.
after next like small push, I think it should be doable. I just remember from the last like this tiny push we had with Imba 1 after the blog post I made about the DOM reconciliation. The community got very active again for a few weeks, but then again it died down because things were buggy. It wasn't documented. I wasn't even in the channel responding to anyone. But I think this time we are much more prepared and things are actually much more stable for people to actually get involved. So
That sounds good. So
yeah,
let's wrap it up and try to do another meeting in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Thank you all for taking the
cool.
time, and see you soon. Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Folks.
Bye.
Bye.